prophecy, revelation, dreams, economic collapse, civil war, aliens, human hybrids, the Nephilim, demons, giants, deliverance, the great deception, election fraud, lockdowns, forced compliance, tribulation, the mark of the beast, hatreds, mysteries. You want to stay tuned to Special Edition End Time Revelations. You're listening to Project Seer.
Well, hello and welcome everybody.
Hello, America. How you doing today?
Hallelujah.
Welcome to another program.
My name is Rachel Glanton, and I am battle ready.
This is Little Ricky Wade, and
Little Ricky Wade.
I am raring to go.
Thank you for having us in the studio today, Pastor.
I want to welcome everybody into another program of Projects Here. I'm your host, Henry Schaefer. We're going to take you on a little ride. Yeah. We're going to talk about alien disclosure.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the movie. We saw the movie yesterday.
Yes, we did.
12 o'clock. We saw that movie, and it's an upside down movie. Got a lot of good information in it to share with everybody. So settle right on in.
Yeah, it was excellently done.
Another little hour. Give us a little hour. We're gonna make sure that we can give you some insight.
Phone a neighbor. Tell a friend.
Especially deliverance ministers. Mm-hmm. You need to listen up. And someone asked me, do I recommend them going to see it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was kind of apprehensive to put my tag on it to go to see, because someone said, well, Pastor Henry said. Pastor Henry said. Pastor Henry said.
That's right.
You need to go see it.
But you also gave instructions. If they go and don't listen to day before yesterday's show, and pay attention to the warnings that you gave, the instructions.
They need that.
That's right. And if they didn't, well, they don't know. If they've been to an Armed and Dangerous seminar, they got some training.
Is that pickleball?
I'm giving the weather report.
Is that what it is?
That's what he's doing.
Well, yeah, that was that weather report hail?
Woo, boy.
Was that hail?
Yes.
Sound like that hail report, wasn't
It sounded different for sure.
That's right. All right, well, welcome on into the studio here. You listen to 99 FM WUCC out of Williston, South Carolina. And we're going to be your host for just a minute. You listen, we're going to drag you right on into a little spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
999 FM. I mean, it's going to look like a radio station. The screen is going to look like This Is Us. And then you're going to realize that's more of what the movie was all about, too.
That's right.
Of all that deception of what you're looking at is not really what you're looking at.
We're not going to try to give you any spoilers here. We're not trying to upset you.
Well, I'm going to tell them everything.
But there are parts here that you need to understand.
I'm going to tell you everything about the movie. Then you're going to go back and you're going to watch. This is what he was talking about.
They're going to be so mad at you.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't matter to me. Just give me a little bit of that money when they go. It was $22 a piece.
Yeah, by the time you got through change, I think it was 24.
Well, after you buy popcorn, it was like 40.
Oh, my.
Well, I owe you some money.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm so glad we got there. I'm so glad it was.
Yeah, but
it was great.
Anyway, it was worth every bit of it. And when I look back at, there's just a lot of information. The title. Let me pop that title up here real quick.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do the disclaimer while he's doing that. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed here on Project Seer may or may not be the thoughts, views, and opinions of the owners, the staff, the sponsors, or any viewer, listener to this WUCC 99.9 FM, Williston, South Carolina. If you have an issue, I'd like you to email us at battleready999@gmail.com.
So we're talking about alien disclosure. Thank you, Rachel, for doing that.
Absolutely.
Make sure you call her.
Yeah, and this is for entertainment purposes only.
That's it. So that's what you have to tell people. They say, well, he said this, they believe this. I said, did you hear that disclaimer?
Yeah, I mean, people believe a lot of things. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, we're just talking about it. Look at this one here. We're talking about the alien disclosure, things that you need to know, even the shock. There's a shock factor to it. And then also about the occult items that were used in it.
Many.
Yeah, many of the occult things that was used in it. And then, of course, the disclosure.
Yes.
Emotions.
Yes.
What does this thing do with your emotions? And different things
there
like
were
that.
A lot of ploys in the movie that would bring you to a point of recognition that you were touched. You felt something in the movie. So that causes us as humans, as people with emotion, to make decisions or feel a certain type of way.
So that shock, I'm going to read it off the screen. The alien disclosure, the movie. What you need to know, the shock. It's going to be the occult shock, the setup, emotions, hijacked, and more.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
Oh, there's a lot more into this.
Yeah,
thing.
you could have kept typing right there. Said a whole bunch of stuff. This whole movie and the projection of it. They've been working on this thing for 2 or 3 years. It's not just a come out the box crackerjack kind of thing. This is a planned, purposeful thing, and it by the producer of the movie. What's he called? Steven Spielberg. Whatever his position is, he has stated even in our trailer the challenging of your faith. So I walked into this thing knowing that's what he has
outright stated that it is truth.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said it in the trailer. Let's do it. Because you need to know. You need to know what you're looking at.
Say, I forbid the transference of any spirit.
I forbid the transference of any spirit off that screen to me, back and forth, other than the Holy Ghost in Jesus' name.
The Holy Ghost in Jesus' name.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Not interested in the subtleties of Satan.
And Marzulli said it was nothing but a chase scene all the way through the movie.
From one end to the other, that's what he said. I watched the video too. It was good.
I can see it.
After watching the movie,
Much
that makes so
more
much sense.
inclined now than I was when I made Close Encounters. To really believe that we're not the only intelligent civilization in the universe.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth. This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
What's happening to me? I'm frightened. I'm with.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Keller.
Who is this?
Do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human race cannot accept what we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? This is a 9-year cover-up of the truth.
We're interrupting our coverage.
How will disclosure change us? I believe for the better. It will remind us of our capacity for empathy, and that there is something bigger out there than just ourselves. The only way to know your purpose is to go back to where it all began. I know you.
I know you do. What happened to us?
I used to say to myself, wouldn't it be wonderful if all of this turned out to be true? I'm now thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful for people to know all of this is true?
All right. So that was the trailer there. Someone says when we were doing that, it was echoing.
Okay, I'm
They
looking.
need to check right now. Are we echoing now? That was a setup that we just changed just before we started up.
Yeah, I remember.
Are we echoing right now? That's just what I need to know. So somebody say, yes, we are, or are we not? Y'all put it on the screen that we were. Check me out. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone give me a, hey, we're all right, or we're echoing. No echo. I know what it is. I made my switch. No echo. That's good. And of course, the echo comes in when we're playing the audio, the stream off of the other computer. So that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So we know what to do. So anyway, that was the trailer. When we're looking at that trailer, now that we've seen the movie, it was a great trailer.
It was so good.
I mean, it was good. You go back, oh yeah, this is every bit of it here. So where are we gonna begin at tonight? What are we gonna do as far as, if we tell them what the movie's about, which it really, I mean, they're listening so that I'm not going to say what, I'm not going to tell you that, so you don't need to know. You need to know that this movie is about introducing us to an alien civilization that has been here since the time of, well, way back when, but in Roswell, or at those time frames when they were saying that they were aliens. There were some that were captured. There were some that wrecked, and they captured them and they experimented on them. And some of them they got information from. And in this movie, there is a man. What's that man's name?
The Kellner?
No, I don't know. You have to tell me the man they were chasing.
Daniel
Yeah,
Kellner.
Daniel Kellner. That's who they
Daniel
were
Kellner.
chasing.
He's the man that worked for some
Wardex.
That was the name of it?
Yeah, Wardex.
And it's a government agency, or they would subcontract to a government agency to protect data.
That's right.
And in that, he decided
He discovered
he discovered he had access to all the videos.
many of the files to protect those files. And he was the guy.
That was his job.
He said,
to protect. He said, I got to tell everybody.
People need to know this is what his decision was.
So here's what you have in here. So you have him coming out and stealing the information. He has a girlfriend.
Yes, he does. Her name's Jane.
And that girlfriend is the one that kind of used to get to him.
Yes.
So you got to remember, isn't that crazy? Jane. But anyway. So let's look. So you have people that's in the government now. You're going to find out there's government entities. And there is a group of people that are portrayed as bad. I'm now giving these titles emotions that came to me.
That's right.
That they were portrayed as being the bad guys, and they work for the government to keep all this information secret.
That's right.
So they came across in the movie being the bad guys. And then there were people who worked with them that left. Once they saw how they were hiding all that information, they pulled out and left like 5 years before. And he was that black man. I don't remember his name. But he was
Hugo. Yeah, they called him Hugo in the movie.
He was the black man, the one that you saw on the screen. And he was the one that really stuck his hand out and wanted to contact the man who had stolen.
Yeah, he seemed to say, he portrayed in the movie that he had been handpicked, and he'd been watching him a while.
Yep.
It sounded like he had kind of led and gave him information to put him in a position where he would be suspect of those very pieces of information he was protecting.
So the man, the government agency that was to protect the information was portrayed as bad.
Yes.
Those who pulled away were the good guys, and the man who stole the information to get it out, he was portrayed as a good guy as well. I mean, it was like that all the way through the movie.
Right.
And they were using all type of ways to try to track him down to find out where he's at.
Yes, and he had burner phones. He was set up so that he would have the ability to communicate with the person in the government that was supporting him, and how the guy in the government that was trying to find him could not locate him. Now, they did eventually in every spot that he was never safe anywhere he went. And there are archetypes in this movie. At the point he's running and he's being chased, when the chase begins, he ends up with this situation with this Mother Teresa figure. And she even says, whenever Jane calls her back, she what I would call indicated, well, how could we be the only people?
Well, here's the setup for that is that his girlfriend she did not tell Jane.
Yes.
Did not tell him when they were dating. Did not tell him that she was an ex-nun.
That's right. She didn't.
So she didn't know nothing about it. And in the movie, he says, I have to go somewhere that nobody knows me. And she says, come, I got a place to go.
Right.
And then it comes up, she takes him to a convent.
Yeah, and his intention was to leave her there so she'd be safe.
So what happens is when she gets in there, now this is the tie-in with the Christianity.
Yes.
Yes.
This is where it comes in, making it. So in that, when he goes in there, she is introducing to the mother of the convent there.
Yes.
And say, hey, where you been and all this stuff. Well, all of it comes into is that young lady, Jane, starts to question.
Yes.
After she starts finding out what this is all about aliens. She gets to see some of the videos.
Yes.
He shows her in the hotel room.
He does.
What's on one of them videos, and she just freaks out.
Yes, she does.
And what she showed on, then let's talk about what she saw.
Yes.
Y'all tell me what she saw.
She saw those bodies that had been recovered from the
Roswell.
ships that had crashed.
Roswell.
On a little video.
And implied that it was Roswell.
Oh, black and white video.
It was black and white, and the body parts were mangled. There was damage done to these creatures that they were being handled and moved around, and they were a little rough. Now, right here, I want to say, whenever I was a teenager, I remember the discussion about contamination, cross-contamination. I remember one of the things they talked about, if we were to encounter another life source, we should be careful, we should be gloved and masked and in suits and things like that. I can tell you right now, I watch a lot of social media, a lot of YouTube things, and that is nowhere near a discussion in any of this stuff for the generations, I would say, my children, my grandchildren. That's not even a concept they would consider. Mm-hmm. But I remember, if they may have encountered that in science class, they may have encountered that in, an experiment that they've done in a lab. Mm. But that would be the closest thing. Mm-hmm. And you see this in the other movies. Let's talk about Alien versus Predator, or any of the other movies that we've seen that would be considered sci-fi, where they go out and do this investigation, and one of the people on the crew comes back with something in their body, biologic. So that contamination is not a subject. But what they stressed in this scene that they showed Jane was she got upset because the aliens were mangled and suffering, and she was emotional about it.
Here's what happened: is that there was a scene in there where the aliens were being prodded,
yes,
cut on,
yes,
they were being
handled.
Well, when handling, I'm talking about just moving them, but they were actually experimenting on them.
Yes,
and in that experimentation is what she saw them, and that alien was screaming.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten that. That's correct.
When that squealing started is when he is looking at her, and she got very emotional.
Yes, she did.
In this here. So here's one of the takeaways in this here. And this is where people have to be concerned, or we're talking about deliverance ministries or people who understand what we're talking about, is that before they want you to think that aliens are bad and that they're dangerous. But in this situation, you saw them vulnerable, and we were injuring them and made us feel sorry for them.
It provoked an emotion in us.
And so what demons do is that they provoke people's emotions, so then they can hijack them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so now the emotional thing is this right here, is that, we don't need to be bad to the aliens because this is what bad men have done to them, and we don't want to do anything like that either. So right off the bat, they're saying, bad guys, aliens are good, and don't do anything to harm them or hurt them because they have emotions and feelings as well.
Right.
So in that, they just don't realize that they're not here to help us. That's what they want to tell us. But they are here in reality to deceive us.
Right.
And this is part of that deception.
And in for education purposes, let's talk about that, because let's unpack that just a little bit. Here's the deal: let's go all the way back to Eisenhower, and if you have watched any of the previous shows, he made an agreement with these beings, and that agreement meant that 100,000 of our people could be used or tested on, and that was in exchange for power, exchange for weapons and knowledge and things that we felt they were offered enlightenment by the Nordics, but instead they chose from the small grays this power play, and that's the equal exchange. Well, then we find out that of that 100,000 that they decided to agree for them to use for whatever their purposes are, for every one that was taken, there was another 10 that were represented that also were taken. So if we're talking about how we treated them, let's not forget how they have treated our people, and the agreement they did not hold to.
Yeah. And so even if that was so,
right,
in the movie, it was provoking emotion in us to say, "Oh man, we don't need to work." I like what somebody put it up here was that weaponizing emotions.
Yes, that's right.
Against us.
Yes,
and that's how they do it. Well, that even in what is that, Stockholm syndrome?
Yes,
where a person has been
abused, and they look for that same kind.
But they're in some people don't know what that word is. That they've been abducted in a bank.
Right.
What do they call that? Where they hold them up?
They're hostages.
Hostages in a hostage situation. And what happens in that hostage situation, to where they're seen as the bad person,
right,
by the time it's over with, they start to empathize with them, and they don't even want the police to come in and hurt them.
Yes.
So their emotions are weaponized, and that's called the Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, because they begin to understand the logic of the criminal.
Same thing in this here. If you're going to get all of these different deliverance minutes. You're going to get all of these Christians.
That's right.
Ministers are going to watch all of this, but we're watching it from the aspect of deliverance.
Yes.
So that we know that emotions is where the demons come in at.
Yes.
And remember what we said is that you can watch it and you say, "Oh man, I never feel sorry for them." The spirit comes in right when you hear that sound, and you hear that emotional thing.
That's right.
It comes right on in, and next thing you've already got the spirit. You don't even realize it. This is how they sow this in through the movies that we see. And we become emotional with them, and we come as that we don't want to hurt them or anything. Let's go to another.
I would call this the E.T. effect. That the E.T. character was put there among all the little children, and they were protecting him, and he was seen to be good, and everybody drew in to cute and love E.T.
That's right.
And I think that's the spin factor on this situation, on this movie.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Very accurate. Yes, sir. I agree. Well, the goal to give a place, a space for that to light, that compassion toward anyone. I mean, we as a people are very compassionate.
It's manipulation.
Absolute manipulation.
It's the same thing. Let me tell you how this works.
That's right.
Is that pastor stands at the pulpit and he starts to tell his people that his son or his children doesn't have money for their school clothes, because of the way that the money works in the church and things like that. And next thing you know, the next time he stands up, he'll throw the leg up over his head and say, "Hallelujah, praise Jesus, that God worked a miracle, and my children's got all the money they need for their school clothes." He just manipulated the whole congregation through emotions, which is witchcraft.
Right.
And that is the same thing. And someone said, "Oh, Pastor," that's the reason I don't tell y'all, I don't want y'all to know anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know anything stuff that Pastor Henry goes through. You don't need to know any of that kind of stuff.
That's right.
But this is how they, in church, they do it.
Yes.
This is how they do it in church. And then this is how that they do it in the movies in this situation to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, it's a
How'd Sister Fran like the movie?
snag.
No, she liked it.
I think it was excellently done.
Listen, I was
Great.
thinking if I had to, I would probably rate it a 7 is what I would rate it if I did a 1 to a 10.
Yeah.
But let me tell you how the movie is set up, y'all. It is set up in a way so that it's not G rated, and it has a rating. There are a couple of cuss words in it, and they're and when I say bad, I mean they're not F-bombs. They're just profanity. That gets them the rating, and I'm going to talk about only 2, maybe only 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gets them that profanity rating.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do it, because I'm not going to go see a G. That movie can't be anything. And when we're looking at the violence aspect of it, it's not violent compared to what movie.
It's action packed, but there's
It's
no
action
action-packed.
all
but they
the way
don't
through.
see there's no violence that you
All
see.
the way
way.
through.
All the
But
way.
here's what they're doing. They want to make it, is it all right for my children to go see?
That's right.
And I would go, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because of this. And I would say, put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah.
Put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah.
And after that, that's how they're doing the movie, because it is that they want you to be able to see the children to see it.
Yeah. They want to appeal to every
They want
every age.
See what I'm getting at?
Absolutely.
So
correct.
it is not, there's not sex in it like that.
That's right.
It's not sexual or any of those kind of things that
No,
you
no drugs or alcohol to that type of thing.
But now let's talk about the occult that's in it. When they are trying to locate, what's his name we're looking
Kellner.
for? So we're looking for him, and then the bad people that are Wardex, they're looking for them.
Yeah, they are.
They have access to all type of venues to be able to do this, and they get some alien artifact that they can hold in their hand, and they can connect. And it's almost like the things that our government has done that we know about this.
Yes.
Because we deal with deliverance. And then some of the people be going, oh my God, they showed all this in here. I said, yeah, if you come into a deliverance session with us, they're doing it in deliverance.
That's right.
But it was a remote viewing to where they was in a chair, watch the screen on, an image of the person they was trying to connect with. And remotely, they're trying to find out where is this person. And they could actually, through the spirit realm, locate where they're at. So now they're looking through the person's eyes, but they don't know where they're at. The burner phones are going, there's nothing there. And they're looking around in the room
And asking questions.
for clues.
That's right.
Because they haven't taken over the body.
Because they're still looking for Daniel.
They're just looking.
That's right.
And as they're looking around,
They're trying to kill him.
Yep. So what they're looking around, they're trying to say, where is this at? And they found out that it was like at a hotel. And they saw a name and an address on a card. And they said, all of a sudden, the man comes back out of the remote viewing. I know where they're at.
Yes.
And this is where they're
He
at.
gives
And I got
them
the
the
address.
information.
So that information of how they do that is real. That's why I'm telling y'all, when you're there in that movie, you better say this here. I forbid the transference of any spirit from me to you and you to me, and nothing can transfer off that screen to me. We do that kind of stuff when we take people through deliverance.
I found myself praying in tongues a good portion of the movie just because there were so many different themes that were concerning to me that I see in deliverance, that I hear in deliverance.
Yeah, I mean, we see this stuff, so we go, yep, that works just like that. So that was the occult, one of the occult factors
One
that
of
was
them.
there.
Yes.
It had a Beetlejuice type of typology as well.
Unpack that a little bit. What you
Remember the
mean?
movie Beetlejuice?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Yeah, where he was getting into their minds.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. So the other part here is, Elizabeth Adendorf and Jackson went with us. It was great. And one of the things that she pointed out was the theme of red, different places that even that morning she had spoken or watched a video about circles and red. And a red cardinal kind of started this off, tipped this off in Margaret Fairchild.
Now, she's the news anchor.
Yeah, she's the news
that
anchor.
starts making the sound.
That's right. And she's standing at her job, standing in front of people in the place that she lives, Kansas City, I believe is where this is centered. And she begins to speak. But before this happens to her at work, she's at home with her boyfriend. And this bird just flies in the window and sits on the table, and she looks at the bird looks at her. There's no physical exchange of any kind.
Long stare, though.
Long stare, no communication.
And she had a boyfriend in the room.
And a boyfriend was in the room
and
watching all this.
He just let it happen.
Yeah, he watched, and then he finally just shooed the bird on out of there. But when she sat down to eat her breakfast, she began speaking in a different language.
Russian.
And he was like, when did you learn this language?
When did you learn Russian, sweetie?
And she was like, totally not hearing him ask the question. She was so in her own space, just rattling off whatever she was feeling. And then it goes from us hearing her speak in Russian to her speaking in English. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about, but the time I must go. And she jumps up, grabs her purse, her coat, and she heads out the door. We'll talk about this tonight. And as she walks out the door, she's speaking regular, just like we can understand everything she's saying. But that was the first indication in the movie.
She has to get in her red car.
Yeah, and she goes and gets in her red car.
Flying down the road.
And then
the police pulls her over.
And then she just reads this guy's mail.
Now, when the police walks up to the car, he's getting ready to write her up. And all of a sudden, she looks at him with this weird look and says, you need to tell your wife you love her. You need to tell your wife that, hey, it's not really that bad. He just drops his pen and paper how do you know all this?
She tells him, you need a nap. She needs a nap. Y'all just, you don't regret having the baby. And she tells him these things and just reads his mail. Now, and this is all of a sudden,
she's never done this before.
Right. She's never had this experience, and she's pulling out after she takes her insurance card and her license back from him, and she says, I'm going to go now. And he just watches her pull off, and she goes on to work. And while she's doing it, she's saying, what just happened? It might be one of the cuss words right there. How did this just happen? Might be one of the cuss words right there. But she recognized this is not normal. This is not.
I can't tell this about people. Here's the thing about the movie. Here's the thing. When that bird landed on that table in front of her, something transferred.
That's right.
Into her.
That's right.
That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
And listen here. Y'all listen to what I'm telling you. The revelation is that an animal can transfer things into you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, and eyes.
We know that.
We know that. And eyes are.
We know that, but I'm telling you, in the movie.
That's right.
Y'all better understand just the gazing of the eyes.
And us watching it.
And the open portal.
And
something went into her.
And before we went in the building, we bound up Thalia and Melpomene. Before the movie started, even the trailers of other movies, the commercials, the advertisements beforehand, we prayed against all of that, anything transferring into us, because we knew walking into this that we're going to be dealing with things that just are not normal.
That's right.
But here's something that draws the entire population that's watching the movie into it, and I think is the theme of the movie. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid of what you don't know.
That was said.
Subliminally, they're saying, "Hey, have an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say no transference of anything. Have an open mind. Be willing to accept and receive whatever this movie, because what you don't know isn't going to hurt you. Don't be afraid of it."
Well, and we're taught in our faith that the method of Satan is subtlety. There's many subtleties here in this. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So so she's in this Kansas City thing. Mm-hmm. When she gets up there and she starts to make her newscast that day, that this thing just takes over, and she starts speaking in a language like to me it's like insects. Something like that. Insect language that can make sounds
it's clicking.
Or clicking sound or things like that, or reptilian.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, reptilian sounds, what have you. But and then that starts the movie off, and other people on the broadcast heard it too. There was one man, he's part of the movie. He heard her speak in English.
Yeah, Daniel. Daniel understood what she said.
Yeah, and they didn't know each other at this time.
No.
But they come together through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
He hears this sound. He knows what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And this sets them off. The whole movie is a chase, and they actually come together.
Right.
And when they come together is how this movie actually, when it moves towards 3/4 of the way through, without all the chase scenes talking
Yeah,
about.
you start figuring out what's happening.
Yeah, now you start seeing they're getting these two people together, and when they're bringing them together, you have the bad government people and the good government people have finally connected with them, and they're going to bring these two people into a facility that is her home.
Yeah, it's a fabricated, looks exactly like her childhood home.
Like her little house when she was small.
And
90s.
And even in the trailer, Hugo leans in her ear and says, you have to go back to where it all began. And she couldn't remember anything that happened up until she was 10. All throughout the movie, it was something that bothered her, something that perplexed her.
Something happened that
Something
they didn't
happened.
remember.
And then she even said to Hugo, I don't want to know this. I don't want to be a part of this. You know, something we left out about Jane is when they get to this house that they put her in a safe, her and Daniel in the safe house, and are waiting to exchange what he has gotten from Mordex. She challenges him after he has shown her the evidence and the things where these aliens are being mistreated, and she says, you cannot do this. People cannot handle this. It's you're forcing them to accept something that they do not understand, and you this is irresponsible. You should not do this. So it's a representation to me of the church pleading with her, with him, of stop. Think about the responsibility here that what you're doing. And I think that it's masterful by Steven Spielberg to do that, because we know he's an ingenious filmmaker, and the chase and the ride and the struggle that happens before they get to the safe house, after the safe house, she is the one who is overtaken by the Wardex guy with the thing in the hand, and he asks her, if we can't get to him, will you stop him? And what he's asking her to do is kill her boyfriend.
Yeah.
He is, and she in one hand is holding a cross, and, eventually drops it, and he overtakes her, which to me is a perfect representation of the spirit world and what we deal with in a deliverance setting. So I don't want to leave that.
So what happens is that he, the man from the evil side of the government, astral projects into her.
Correct.
And he's going to use her body to kill Daniel.
To remote view, that's
to
right.
To kill him.
That's right.
And take over
I
his
believe
body.
his name was Wakefield. I believe.
Is that it? Okay. It's going to kill him. And she kept trying to fight off that astral projection. So where people look at that movie and say, oh, that's not real, is what we say is that in deliverance sessions, we pray that and forbid astral projection out of the body or into the body.
Yeah, can't nobody snatch on the soul.
Because we know that you can be sitting there praying with somebody, and it's not the person you're praying with.
That's right. It's
Somebody can come.
Another personality's there. And they're not using this item that they portray in this movie to do this. They may have a focal point, but they don't have to have this object. Is not the knowledge that they're trying to say that we don't have. We have it. I mean, it is an absolute lie. It's an absolute lie.
Yeah.
Well, it just in one of the scenes that they have one of those objects that she has. She holds it in her hand and she cloaks a building so that the other people don't see it.
Correct.
And the bad people don't see it.
Right.
And everybody hides.
So they're trying to also display what this truth.
What we do have.
What we do have.
So we have cloaking ability.
Yes.
Like our airplanes, where they say that it's the way the hulls are made and the curvature, so the radar bounces off of it and all of those kind of things. Well, that doesn't explain. When you look at it, it's invisible.
Right. And the supposition here is
invisible.
The trade-off for the experimenting on the 100,000 people of our Earth. The exchange was this power grab of having the weapons and the technology to use against other countries, use in battle in a place where they would become superior. So it is implied that we did not have any of that understanding. And some of it maybe we didn't, but some of it I know we did.
What you got, Wade?
Well, here y'all clarify something for me. I'm not afraid to ask questions, but
Hallelujah.
When they said the 12 that didn't show up for work, I took that
I did too.
as meaning the 12 disciples.
It's whenever they realized, remember he was sitting on the couch and he was talking to Hugo. Hugo was on the couch and he was in the chair, and two of Hugo's people came in the door and he said, get out right now. Well, then whenever he comes out of that, Hugo turns around and the guy's gone, Wardek's guy, and he tells them to search the people who didn't come into work tomorrow. And the number they gave was 12.
12. And when she knew them all.
That let them know who.
Yeah, that's right.
Who was a part of the group.
Yeah. So I took it that they were connected to the original abduction. They were somehow handlers, or they were there because she went through the line of all of them and called them by name and knew them.
Yeah, she did.
And so I assumed that they were part of the alien abduction of both of them when they were young.
And that could be true, but I also took it as how she read the police officer's mail. She just had things that she knew because there's something in her.
That's the main thing I want to tell you, is that the whole movie is about, and the other thing, there's something in her, is this, what was her name?
Margaret.
Margaret Fairchild.
Margaret Fairchild.
So when she is walking in to find Daniel, she's very close to Daniel, and there she has to go through a lot of people.
She does.
She goes through the front gate of a facility, like a military facility, and she knows things about the man, and she knew the password.
Yeah, she convinced each person to let her to walk through. It was a manipulation.
And then there was
every stage.
Then there was a group of people
to get them to do what she wanted them to do.
And when she would look at them, the person who was looking at her, she would change to the person.
Oh yeah,
you remember that? To the person, like if it was like my dead wife, she looked like my dead wife.
She shape-shifted,
and she spoke just like it.
Yes,
now,
she did.
Whether all of them every one of them saw her, but saw her for what they needed to see her for.
Correct.
Yes.
They did not see the same thing.
Yeah, and they show that in the trailer too.
And listen here, and this key. That is so key that when an alien or these demons, when they are that powerful, like this here, you can have a whole group of people look at an incident and everyone say, well, I saw it was red and green. No, it was blue and purple.
Yeah, everybody has a different perspective.
Everybody has a different perspective of what it looked like, what it said, female or male, but it was all alien. And listen, now I'm going to tell you, so that's one of the key takeaways is understanding is that, I would say, Rachel, what did you just see?
We might not have the same.
Exactly.
We might not have the same experience.
It's almost going to be like this here. What's the Lord showing you?
Yeah. So what is it's a setup for a disagreement. So even if we were all in the same space, we might not have the same experience.
See the same thing.
Didn't see the same thing.
Now the other part of and it convinced every one of them to let her pass through.
That's right.
And get to where Daniel was at in this here. I don't think I can stress this enough now. I know people laugh at me when I say mind control, but the reason I'm telling you that these things are using this, they are manipulating. They have a very powerful mind control spirit themselves.
Yes,
and every person, unless they have deliverance, has that mind control spirit. And that mind control on her head is able to convince and talk to the one on their head.
Yes.
And knows exactly what memory it needs to touch and what they start to see.
Right.
And see them as.
And that's what
mind control.
Provoking in that person a reaction.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you, there is not an explanation. I don't believe there's an explanation that A to Z is coming up with because they don't believe Christians can have demons and they don't believe in mind control and that everybody has it. And if you really believe in the government and what they do, everybody's got mind control.
Right.
And this was a psyops for mind control.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what?
Absolutely.
And so they go in, they got an alien mind control one on their head now.
To the extent at the end, when all of the troops that were with Wakefield, with Wardex, in the studio, before she was going on, after they shut it all down and everything, all of a sudden he settled back and just allowed it to occur, and the head of the military was combative with him and said, are you not gonna take him out? Are you gonna let him go on? Are you gonna
let him do this?
And he just sat down defeated. I mean, did you take it that he was defeated? Because they all just walked out?
Well, because she shape shifted right in front of him just a little bit before this in this, which is also part of the trailer.
Okay.
I think that that whatever that exchange was about,
Good
where
point.
she looked like his wife who he lost years prior.
Yeah, the sentimental.
That it engaged in him or created or gave him an opportunity to react.
Well, remember
emotionally to the entire situation. See, in the title, he has emotions. This was an emotional reaction.
Yeah, but remember
to the loss.
Remember, further down the road in the movie, the good Hugo confronted him.
Yes,
and he said, "I used to follow you." He says, you used to be on the right track.
Yes.
He says, but when your wife died,
yes,
he said, you changed.
Yes.
So when his wife died, he became bitter.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
He became hard-hearted.
That's right.
And when he became hard-hearted,
that's right,
he lost all compassion.
That's right. Hallelujah.
So all of this stuff has to do with your emotions.
It does.
And watching it. And as we say this.
And others judging each other through this situation. You know, God is the only righteous judge. And the whole thing, if this is a seeding kind of thing.
Expound on that.
And I'm going to tell you something.
The seeding.
The seeding of this, well, Genesis 3:15 talks about it. Then it unfolds in Genesis 6. But here's what I want to say about that. If we're talking about, and this is just a dynamic that I didn't think about yesterday, but I thought about today, there's a lot of people that have been abducted or believe that they've been abducted, and they've had all kind of these terrible experiences. The whole families, whole communities, all kind of terrible things. Listen, I really believe this thing's going to backfire on Steven Spielberg and the people that are doing this, and I'm going to tell you why I think that. If they originally, back in Eisenhower, way back in the day, after Roswell, came up with the number of 100,000. And for every one that they agreed they could use in these experiments, they took 10 more. Well, what's that number? That's a pretty high number. So you got that whole group of people that are offended by what's happened to them, and that the government allowed it and had a contractual agreement with these entities to do these things to them. So we got a whole underlying population that is either going to speak up and really fuss about this, or, somehow be convinced that they're okay, which they showed that theme in this movie as the trust of the animals and the different kind of situations, how they're presented to the people. But I think there's a large number of these people that are awake. I watched many reviews today, and people who have abductee sites, and they help deal with people that go through this kind of stuff. I have no idea if deliverance is a part of any of it.
Of course, it's not. They don't even believe that person has a spirit in them.
Right. Or don't believe that anything, that this could happen this way.
Trying to manage demons.
Right. And so when I watched that, it clued me into the fact that, think about the anger. Just anger alone. Let's talk about, forget it if there's any entity.
Rachel, but let me just say, let me tell you, I know you're talking about anger, but it's not them angry.
I know.
What's in them that's angry?
The spirit.
The spirit is hijacking the person.
And that's my point.
Yeah, the spirit's hijacking the person so that they become angry, so that they'll be the ones that will stand up and say, no,
yes,
you can't do anything to aliens when they come. They are our good buddies.
Right. So if you got 100,000 people.
It's the spirit in them.
Yes. If you got 100,000 people that are convinced that what their experience was bad, and then
the seed was to put these demons in them.
Right. And
so that they could control us.
Correct. And then you have times one each. So we're talking about 1 million people that have been provoked.
But I want you to understand, these million people are not on the normal side of a person who doesn't have a demon in them. They are demonized,
Right.
or possessed.
And is that a setup? They will be worse.
Yes, it'll be.
They will be worse than the average bear that watches this movie. But here's what my point is about the whole thing. That whole community, that whole website, that whole person, not just was that person abducted, but anybody around them, they're affected. They're the people in their family, their community, this. So we're talking about a whole bunch of anger demons. Bitterness. Why'd this have to happen in my town? Why is, we didn't have a normal high school situation? All of these factors, and we're talking decade after decade after decade, generations this has happened to. So that's something I hadn't even considered yesterday when I was watching this movie. But when I started really digging and researching, there's some people there that they're very upset. They're very, and on top of that, they have every right to be upset, which most people who are angry have every right to be upset. But that's a whole nother dynamic that I just don't think's been factored into this. We're going to tell everybody everything stuff. Okay, so if you're going to tell it, what about reparations? If you're going to tell everybody everything, since you government decided to do this, are you going to pay for the damage?
If that's true.
Right, if that's true. But see, their whole argument could turn into whole something else that I don't know that anybody's even, maybe they already got it written down that they're not going to help anybody. Who knows? Like you said, if it's true, if what we're watching is true. Let's go back to the red. The other thing that where the cardinal is in the movie, and then the cardinal shows up in the bedroom in the back at the scene at the end, 3/4 of the way through the movie, Hugo says to them, "It's always been the two of you."
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth, she tells Rick.
Now Elizabeth is one of our people.
Yeah, Elizabeth is in the theater with us, and she tells Rick, "Look at that. It's a representation of Adam and Eve.
The new Adam and Eve.
The new Adam and Eve." And I was like, wow. I was thinking the same.
That's right.
But if this is about seeding, let's talk about that, right? If this is about seeding and ideas, and for us to think that they're our overseers and they've created this situation for us, boy, there's some people that's going to fall for that.
So let's talk about, they got them all together now. Mm-hmm. They got Daniel and Margaret together. Mm-hmm. They've got to. They're in their house.
Yeah, and the 12, which isn't it amazing? That's a number of disciples, and they got to go back.
They got to go back. Mm-hmm. They got to go back to
her home.
Right.
And get her in a mental state where both of them are little boys and little girls in their bed. Right. Boy in his bed.
Going back to where this started.
To where these demons or these aliens came into their house and abducted them and took them into their spaceship.
Yes.
This is the scene that's getting ready right before this disclosure.
And even on the trailers, you called it. That ain't a house. You called it a long time ago. I think it was even the very first show.
Yeah. So when they're saying this here, all of a sudden in the movie,
right?
She's like, 10 maybe?
Yeah, maybe
10, and he's probably 10.
Yeah,
about the same
they're
age.
young.
And in the movie, they're in their 40s. Mm-hmm. In their 40s. So now they're going back, regressing back in their memory.
Yes.
And she's laying in bed. She's doing a little song, reading a little book or something. Then all of a sudden, in the room, there's something standing in the room watching
and
her.
They put this device in her hand, and he puts his hand over the top of hers.
This is before they regress back to 10 years old.
Right.
Okay. So here's what happens. They're 10 years old now.
Right.
And there's something that comes into the room. And when they come into the room, it is a giant deer.
Elk, deer.
Yes, huge.
Okay. There's a little cardinal that floats on the bed.
Mm-hmm. There's a fox.
There's a fox there.
And a possum.
And she sees them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're bidding her, come go with us.
And then the cardinal on the antler.
Yeah. So she being a little girl, she follows the animals.
Yes.
Out through the wall, through the house.
And she said, when I passed through the glass, later in the movie, she says that. She passed through the glass.
So she goes right on out, and when she goes out, it's snowing, and then there's a house, like a Hansel and Gretel house, not all lit up, beautiful. And they're walking through the snow, and they're leading her right into that house, and she's going gladly with them. And if you look down at the snow
footprints,
it is not animal footprints.
It is not.
But there are 3 toes.
That's correct.
Foots that are walking
beside her.
Exactly.
On either side of the representation
and
of those
then when
animals.
they go into the house, and by this time, it's him and her both going into the house.
Yep.
And they get into the house. It's still animal shapes, but when they get on the bed in that house, it's a table to be observed.
At first, it looks like her bed, and then it's got this translucent situation under the bed, and it transforms her bed into like a medical table.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, he gets scared, and she's kind of apprehensive. They hold hands together, and at this time is when there's these hands that come up like long fingers.
Three fingers.
Three fingers that come up and hold her by the head, holds him by the head.
And the circular thing that was referenced with the cardinals in her room, it was cardinals on a mobile.
Stay with it. And it comes down right over the head. And as it comes down over the head right there, then they look right into her eyes and his eyes and everything. And there is something that is put into them. Activated information, knowledge.
Their eyes change.
Certain things, they change right there on that table.
That's right.
And when all of that is happening there, and then when it's over with, now before we go any further with it here's the thing that people has to understand is this. In the movie, the reason why the little girl was not and the boy was not frightened is because they looked like little animals that were deer, fox, little animals, and they didn't harm them. You could pet them, and they would follow them. This is how these things are going to deceive people as well.
Correct.
They will take on whatever shape and form that it will be for you not to be frightening.
That's right.
And that you will be trusting them.
That's right.
And it could be a person. It could be a small child. It could be whatever.
So we go back
to lure you into. Now go back to where you want to talk about the cardinals. And
this image that's over the top of their head as the three fingers come up beside their face, the image over the top of their face that concentrates on their eye and changes the way their eye looks. That in the room was a mobile. In her bedroom, there was a mobile like you would put over a crib that was hanging in the corner near her desk, and it was rotating around, and there were cardinals all over it. Well, that same image...
Hanging, fake cardinals.
Yep, it was hanging, and they were not real cardinals. It was just a mobile in her room that probably had music to it, but it morphed from those cardinals into these things they held in their hand, pointing at and there were these objects that they had three of them that at different times had been used throughout the movie, but that thing that centered over their eye was a representation of those cardinals, and then became those objects all in a circle. Well, to me, knowing that red is significant in this movie and red is an issue, the witchcraft that was portrayed in those moments, life is in the blood. So if you know anything about witchcraft, there are things that the devil has his people, witches, warlocks, to duplicate. He is a copycat. So here's another thing about the people who've been abducted. Like I've heard several of them say, so what's the point of the deception? If these people are overseers and they're good for us, why not just be who they are? What's the need for the deception? Why must they draw? Because everything they've done is harmful, it hurts, and it's not good for us. And they're trying to portray in this movie that it is. So I thought that was a dynamic point to be made today when you're talking about people they're experiencers of this, and they call these people in this movie experiencers.
Yeah.
And so,
right.
But you in the real world, let's talk about if it's real, like you said, if all this has happened to these people. Well, I think they make a valid point if they really mean what's best for us, if they're really here to help us, why the deception? Why would they go to such great lengths to deceive us? So that is a check in all of those people's spirit, which I thought was a very great point. As we look at this movie.
Yeah, but see, I think in the movie, they don't portray the movie as deception. They portray the government as deceiving us.
Correct.
That the government has deceived us by not telling us.
Correct.
And what we're saying is what happened to her
Correct.
as children coming in here. The deception is this is how they deceived her.
That's right. And how traumatic it was. She
To
said
her.
through the whole movie, I don't
Exactly.
want, I don't remember anything that happened to me before I was 10. I don't want to know. But it wasn't until that point of being pressed and
the lesson is out of the movie is they can deceive you as well. So let me just give you a for instance here. How many people have we taken through deliverance? A female, it could be a man. Let's do a man, a female. It doesn't matter. Lonely at home, been a long time. Then all of a sudden they say, God, I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. God, you said you'd be everything that I needed to be in my life. They're at their home all by themselves. All of a sudden they feel something come up behind them, grab them, embrace them,
yes,
hug them.
heard it over and over again.
Next thing you know, they turn around, they're kissing. Next thing you know, they're having a sexual encounter. This thing became what they were desiring, and it seduced them. And of course, we know fallen angels
Have made them believe this is a
made them-
benevolent thing.
And look here, and those fallen angels and all of this here in technology and all of this is seeded from our fallen angels. So everything that we're dealing with, the fallen angels, the demons, and we're putting them into our movies, we see it at this aspect of taking people through deliverance. At the same time, to warn the people, they will be benevolent
Yes,
to you.
they're going to be good to you.
And they might look like animals. They might look like your girlfriend.
Yeah, they could look like anybody.
They could be
Your dead wife. In the movie, it's a dead wife.
Exactly. So the thing is that they can come in and they can do anything they want to do. And the next thing, the abduction or possession or oppression, putting demons in people, aliens people. What if it's sexual encounters?
Just the emotions they encounter alone are the traumatic incidents that we know as deliverance ministers. This is the open door.
Well, if you remember Daniel looking out the cabin window with the deer, and he was connecting with them, very sentimental.
He was,
and then the big elk or deer.
Wait a minute. I want to say something. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let you finish. I want to say something. Those weren't animals.
That's right. That's right.
That's
That's
the
right.
deception, and we're telling the story,
Yes.
and we're thinking they were animals in the movie,
Yes.
but they were not animals.
No,
they
that's
were
good.
what?
And the same way Jane was at the table talking
See what
to
I'm getting at?
Wardex guy,
Yeah.
and he wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
We could see that he wasn't in the room,
I'm gonna let you tell it now. You
But
go
we-
ahead and tell your
Yeah.
own.
but we could
Yeah.
see also that that's what she saw.
Yeah.
She saw him. So, but they could have done the same thing in that scene, but they chose not to.
Yeah.
What you're saying is correct. Go ahead.
And you ought to contemplate a T-shirt. Seeds of deception breed fruit of destruction, and the enemy knew that if he could get in the mind, that mind control, that would be heavy to get it out. So he was seeing those deer and connecting with the deer and going off into Never Never Land, and then coming back, and I don't think many people that go to see this as entertainment are going to make the connection to
the things we're talking about.
to the big elk at
Yep,
the end,
they don't.
the elk was coming down the table at them and not recognizing that was the alien.
So if it is called Disclosure Day, and there is a supposition of if this has ever even happened, then what really did they disclose?
Everybody got demonized. No, see that's just it. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's right.
The emotions got hijacked.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
The
That's
emotions
exactly
got
right.
hijacked, and the other part was, remember what the nun, the mother of the nuns,
Yeah, the Mother Teresa figure.
Mother Teresa
Yeah.
said this here. She says, "Mom, what's the lady's name?
Margaret-
Jane.
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 says, Mom, is there really any? Do you think God really made anything other than us?"
And then what would you do if you have proof of it?
And she said, "About honey, God's made more.
Yeah.
And when she spoke all of that, she says, I want you to know, because see, Jane left her calling. She says, you left your calling, but you didn't leave your faith.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she was still asking about God. And
So
all
that
these
segues into that this is she needs to accept this as part of her faith. And
Exactly.
And here's where the danger is. What this movie, the supposition in this movie is to get you to believe that technology is your spirituality. That technology is the only route
good.
that these
That is
entities have an ability to segue into your life.
Wow.
Another thing.
That is really good.
Another thing is this,
Jesus.
is to get you familiar with two-spirited people. A person who has this demon or this ability in them, which is stirred up by a demon,
Yeah.
an alien
Yeah.
spirit in them that can ask questions, give you answers,
Remote visit.
healing,
I mean, all kinds of stuff.
all type of stuff that can happen
I don't want
to
no part of
get
it.
you. And in the movie here, they wanted to I don't want to talk to you. What was her name?
Margaret or Jane?
I want to talk to the spirit
Yeah.
in Margaret.
That's right.
I don't want to talk to Daniel. I want to talk to the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were all interested in her reading the mail. They
Exactly.
were all mystified by the fact that she knew what was going on. She could walk past each of them. She would shift into that woman's daughter. She shifted into that man's grandfather or whatever authority figure was in his life and told him, I never told you, but I've always been proud of you, son. And then the next person is her daughter. And these are the ones that are going to stop her. They're going to stop her, Margaret and Daniel, from getting in that car. And they all absolutely opened up the path for them to get in the car and leave. And everybody was mesmerized.
So what's on the screen here is at the very last
Yes.
of the disclosure. What happens is they are able to get the information loaded in all the computers. She gets back to KC, XE. She gets back there. They're able to take over.
Yeah, they start broadcasting.
They're broadcasting to all the places across the world. And everybody's got their phones out watching this.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, out of the corner, they roll in.
Everybody, everywhere, in every nation.
They roll in someone that's in something that's in a wheelchair, like
Totally enclosed.
square. It's almost like to me, it looked like a shower curtain around a
Mobile wheelchair.
mobile wheelchair with like the different atmosphere.
Yes.
And they pushed him up and they unzipped it.
Yeah, like
opened
he was
up.
protected from
Yeah.
the air.
And then he opened up and he stood up.
He did.
And when they stood up, that's what you see on the screen right there.
Big,
7 or 8 foot tall.
tall, like a tall gray is what it looks like.
Kind of like the Pope Mobile.
Yeah, and so you have to consider, really have to walk through this and consider the things that you've been exposed to by just hearing the review of this movie. There's a ton of things we haven't talked about. There's a ton of things that I've done research about that I can't even fit into this program. But my point is saying, okay, so if you walk into this knowing that this is to
Hijack your emotions.
yeah, hijack your emotion, elicit from you some
you
kind
doubt.
of reaction, doubt your faith, rely on technology, and we all know of the different prophecies about technology dying or an EMF going
if
off.
I say things like this, if it's in the movies, they've already got it.
That's correct.
And if I say that gives it more. Okay, y'all.
And even as you look at this, you can come with this argument of if this existed, if this is true, if these people have been victimized, if they have experienced this kind of thing. We've heard too many stories about people and different things, and the takeaway for me is understand this is interdimensional travel. I don't think my personal conviction over this is about interdimensional travel. This is not about they came here from some way far else. They
don't even try to put that in there though.
No, but it is the supposition that they're here to help us.
That's not even what they try to tell. They try. I mean, we know that, but they don't even try to put that in the movie. They just put it in the movie. Hey, we got some of these guys, and we've been bad to them.
So then at the end, when they put everything on the news and they tell the stories and show the films, and all of the things that happened to the aliens, to their arrival, the different stuff happening in the clouds, the military observations. This, and you can hear them in the control room saying, "Oh no, this is from the Navy. This is from the Air Force. These are Navy. These are military films, military grade films." And so the people that are handling the information and trying to get this stuff out, it becomes a worldwide broadcast. And at one of the scenes where they're in a gas station and everybody's snatching stuff off the shelves, what's the catastrophe? That's
what I was asking.
And what the supposition is there is the reason for this disclosure is there's been a nuclear event on the Earth. So that's what's brought them to this disclosure.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, we all have that knowledge of a nuclear threat, the knowledge of an EMP, all kinds of different things that could happen that we know that are possibilities in
we're
our
on the
world.
cusp of.
Yeah, and we got, they were talking on the news before they interrupted. We're interrupting our feed. They were talking about the conflict in the Middle East. They were talking about the stuff that's going on, in
making it real time.
Very much so, like of what we're experiencing right now, parts of what's going through our lives, and even in the trailer where Spielberg says this is true. He actually says that, and what I really want to convey to everyone is don't put down your battle axe. Don't put down your sword. Don't decide that learning through Duomo, Duomo, and learning scripture that way is the way to go. Even if it helps you learn scripture, how are you going to know when they change what you're listening to?
I knew something was wrapped up in that. Thanks for exposing that.
So my discernment kicks off that, like Pastor says, don't ever ignore that check in your spirit. There's something else to it. So rely on the Word of God, what you are familiar with, and the many facets that diamond is. Read it in every version. Just make sure that you have a good, conscientious understanding of the deception. If you don't know what the Word of God says, you can't recognize deception. If you don't have a good bead on, a good handle on, if you do these things, God says, I will bless you. If you do these things, God says, I'm going to curse you. I guarantee you, in light of the movies, not just this one, the movies that you've watched, you can see things in those movies that if you do those things, he's going to curse you. If you do these things in these movies, he's going to bless you. So let's just talk about all movies. Let's talk about all things that you allow into your ear gate. Talk about all things that you allow into your eye gate.
That's great. Well, when's the marketing campaign going to start through McDonald's and all them? Here's something very interesting. KCXE. I'm a numbers guy. Adds up to 42. You want to know what number 42 means?
Is that Roman numerals? Or is that just alphanumerical?
Yeah, just the representation.
And number 42 is most famously known as the answer to ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything, from Douglas Adams' sci-fi comedy, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. In the story, a supercomputer named Deep Thought takes 7.5 million years to calculate this answer.
What was the answer? We ain't got it yet.
But here's something I think subliminally, and it's not even subliminal because I grew up in that denomination.
It's suggestive, is what it is.
In that denomination of faith with the nuns in grade schools and all boys high school with brothers, and they believe that they are the chosen ones.
Church to God too, brother.
And so if you take those numbers and say with the affiliation with the Mother Teresa nun lookalike and all of them praying with the rosaries and everything, if you take that and calculate that number, that if they buy into this, that they're honoring that tradition in this movie, you got a large population that would buy into a lot of these things just based upon that alone, I believe.
Well, the Pope is setting it up.
That's
to
correct.
receive all this. Okay, yeah. He's already said that he's going to baptize.
That's what he said.
If the aliens,
That's
he
correct.
believes they're there,
yeah,
and that he would baptize them, and they're worthy of salvation.
Right, so right there, you're influencing a great number in the population of people that would be led to partake in the mindset of this movie.
Well, I had quite a few people send me some things about this movie where they had watched or the things that have been released after. And there is a trailer that talks of just sets up the universal, the words running around the globe, and then it gives you disclosure day, and the letters that are exposed are OSCE. So one of these people that did this really did look this up, and and Megan Cressley is the person who did this, and she said, an operating system, OS, reverts your computer software and system files to a previously saved state, a restore point. It is primarily used as a troubleshooting tool to fix crashes or errors without deleting your personal files or documentation. OS, which would be an operating system, versus other recovery options. And then it gives different kinds of system restores. So I thought it was very interesting because I know that part of this movie's purpose is to reset our thinking or engage with our emotion. So I thought that was an excellent observation. And the other thing that I wanted to bring out here is the word disclosure. Historically, the Middle English disclose was even used to describe physical actions like hatching an egg or breaking open a bud, before transitioning entirely into its modern meaning of revealing hidden facts or information. You can read more about this historical timeline at this place. All right, well then the next part, the word disclosure traces back to the late 14th century Middle English as a derivative of the verb disclose. It literally translates to the opposite of closing, representing the act of revealing, uncovering, or making known information that was previously kept secret or hidden. Now, shifting meanings. For centuries, SORE, which would be, if you put those words together, those letters together, SORE, that were accentuated on the screen as the letters came forth of Disclosure Day.
Yes.
For centuries, SORE was commonly used to describe both physical injuries and deep mental suffering. By the 11th century, the noun form began to specifically describe raw, broken spots in the skin like boils or blisters. I just don't think that any of that is an accident, that is directly related to the injuries and the people who claim they've been abducted, the people who claim they have been experimented on and they've been taken, and the way they tell their testimonies. There's things taken from their body. There are things put in their bodies. They're not happy. And they're bruised and they're injured. And it's just a terrible situation. So if the opposite.
They are already demonized people.
Correct.
They're trying to get them in us,
and
not them.
Right. And they want to reach more people. The masses is who they're after. Right. The other.
They're the witnesses.
Right.
To tell us.
The other part of the populace.
They're the witnesses to tell us, hey, y'all, they're bad.
Yes. And instead of everybody listening, I believe the objective of this movie is to change the narrative completely so that the rest of us will accept technology, decide that they are watching out for us, and that God is a joke. And I'm just,
that's why I think that slogan, "Don't be afraid of what you don't know," is really the premier.
Yeah, and I take that. When you tell me that, I think about the animals' forms that was used. That all of the listen, they're in your room in the middle of the night. Foxes, cardinals.
Hallelujah.
Don't be afraid of what you don't know. I said, give me a break, y'all.
Yeah.
Mama.
And possums.
Daddy.
Help.
There's something in my room in here.
Help.
You said, but the thing is.
It redefines the whole thing about what's in the closet.
What they're trying to say, if there's something.
Or under the bed.
Don't be afraid of what you don't know and what's going on, and say, I saw it in a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's the key to the whole movie is don't be afraid of what you don't know.
That's right.
Drawing people in to the beauty of that fox, the beautiful colors of that fox in that bedroom. I mean, those colors were just beautiful. They were to make you at peace. And
if I had to sum it up in two small sentences,
let's hear it.
Not explanations for minutes and minutes, is that The movie was not fearful.
No.
It was disclosure of the possibilities of what our government has already gotten, has hidden and kept from us, and what we have already seen through, what they has been
That's
exposed, and the possibility of that these things are able to change any forms they want and virtually do anything they want,
Mm-hmm.
and can abduct anyone they want. And what they're going to impart in you is a gift.
That's good.
A gift.
Well, that's exactly what we watched her do. And now she could speak and read people's mail, which would, if we were to compare that to a Christian thing, that would be prophecy. But he was able to interpret what she said. He was the only person in all of existence that could interpret what she said.
He had the gift
of interpretation.
He had the gift to be able to hear and see everything when he got his, everything in formulas. Remember that?
Code,
Yes.
yeah.
Everything was was coded, formulas.
Yeah.
Everything, he could solve it all.
Yeah.
When he saw whatever,
And that was put in him.
it was put in him by this.
Yes.
Mathematics.
Yes.
Yeah, and some,
That the gift. That was
That was his
beautiful.
gift.
yeah, and he hated it when he was in college when it happened, and it caused him to walk away from school because he couldn't relate to people. It caused him to isolate.
And I've always said this here. Children that all of a sudden they can play Mozart and they're 3-4 years old.
You've always said that.
And all of these things, and what do they call them when they're
A savant.
yeah, but I'm now talking about
Genius.
how they're really smart. But they're there's another word for them. That how smart that they are. Prodigies, and all of this here, and they can do all the math, and they can do all of this, and they can add all the. Y'all really think that that's normal?
Mm-mm.
And you think that's a gift from God? I'm telling you, first of all, they need deliverance to make sure that it is from God.
That's right.
That's the deception.
Right. That's right.
That's this deception.
And many people don't want to go through that check
right.
system. And most of the people that are these children who are born in those families, they don't believe in Jesus anyway.
Well, I don't know what context
That's
this
my
was used
experience.
in, but the word Kentucky Philly came up, and it means, talking about what you're saying, other mixers with a regional twist, and that's what the gift.
Let's, as we close this up here, because we can go on. Let's talk about the story in the movie about Jackie Gleason and Richard Nixon, the President Richard Nixon. What we know about it, and tell them it shows up in the movie, and they show a video of this here. You want to tell the story, or
it depicts a time where Nixon and Jackie Gleason met at Homestead Air Force Base in South Miami, down near the Key Largo, and because of Jackie's desire or interest in UFOs and different things, Nixon.
Tell them time frame.
February 19th, 1973.
1973. And they met at Homestead Air Force Base.
I would have been 2 years old.
It wasn't disclosed in presidential records, but they know that it happened, like the Eisenhower thing. And they met down there and saw.
Wait. They got rid of all Secret Service. He went on his own and picked him up in his own car, picked him on up and drove him by himself on into the base. Now,
and exposed some of those alien beings, and
took him in to show him
the bodies.
And Jackie allegedly did not speak of that until he referred to it, but his wife later, after he passed, had spoke some things about it, or written in her chronology of his life. But that happened on February 19th, I think, 73, and so kind of like the Eisenhower.
So they showed videos of him like in the
With
movie,
Jackie Gleason.
they showed videos of like it was at the Air Force base.
Yeah.
And my question was like, is this real footage or is this a reenactment?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. There's no way for me to know. But that was one of my questions. Are we looking at real footage?
We've done shows on this kind of stuff,
Yes.
and they'll go, oh, that's just old fogies that they're talking on. Now it's in the movie,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's like, y'all, if it's in the movies,
Yeah.
And another observation that Megan Cressley made was that people in reviews over and over again said it made me feel like a child. So is there an activation that's going on here, taking them back in a reset back to the things that happened to them? If these things happen to them, are we looking at cells of people that have been having these experiences activated to do something?
Let's do this here. The disclosure could be what happened to them as a kid.
Right.
That this is the key. This is the room in their house.
That's right.
Because they had to build the room.
That's my subject.
They had to make a room,
right there.
a house, and get them in the room a room that they did not want to visit.
Right.
And the room wasn't scary.
No, it was picturesque.
The room wasn't scary, but what happened to them while they went out of their room into that spaceship. Now that wasn't a good thing.
Yeah, and this whole thing moves into that same space where they're 8, 9, 10 years old. What is the true age of accountability? If we're looking at this from a perspective as believers, at the most vulnerable time in a person's life,
well,
this is happening to these kids.
And something I just thought of, because when you were talking about that, Rachel, I went back to seeing Wizard of Oz for the first time, and all the lion, and the guy behind the mean man, and remember having dreams and stuff about that. Well, I lost my train of thought there.
That's okay.
Come on home, Toto. Come on.
That whole movie is set up in Kansas City too, or in Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah.
And she clicks her heels, and I thought that same theme.
Go ahead. You got it?
No, I don't. I lost
we'll keep talking then.
Yeah.
Well, and that it just made me think, because he said, this whole thing was centered in Kansas, I couldn't help but think of the same reference of the Wizard of Oz, because they say we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto, and as that happens, as that is displayed, there are characters in that are animals or Tin Man, technology kind of stuff. It's just wild, the connection.
Okay, mine is this. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. That where a small, you saying take the children go see this movie. It's not that scary. And the way they did that of walking through the snow, and the fingers coming up very, very discreetly or indiscreetly, that it wouldn't be that frightful to children to see that happen.
Right.
Not like the revealing the scary man behind the counter that was yelling and screaming on the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about Derek Prince, General. Everybody says, yeah, listen to Derek Prince. I said, they act like they never heard Derek Prince talk about anything.
He's amazing.
He talked about the Wizard of Oz.
He sure did.
And he said about the Wizard of Oz, he said, I thought that the Wizard of Oz would be the most innocent thing that a child could listen to. He says, and I might get in trouble doing this here, until I had to take children through deliverance.
That's right.
Yeah.
And these things was inside the children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to get these spirit beings out of them that had hijacked them and came in them when they watched the movie of
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
That's right.
So go ahead and put that in your pipe and smoke it too, I guess.
Well, that's exactly
use that against
what I was saying about the movies, and not just this movie. All the movies that you've watched, that something has entered. You're a container, and it's doing something in you. You have to. That's what we talked about in the last show. And I'm just saying, you need to be checking yourself at the door. What is it exactly that is happening inside of you that you feel you have no control over, or is a struggle area?
And we got to close it down about now. Isn't that something? You got anything last thing you want to say, brother?
No, I just
go ahead, give us your paragraph, your closing statement.
Yeah, I just think that is the key to the thing, and you beautifully said the gift. I think that probably supersedes what I'm saying, but don't be afraid of what you don't know is seductive and leads to people saying that you're too heavenly conscious to be any earthly good, that type of thing. And we're to search it out like a Berean, to search the scriptures. It's the glory of God to conceal a matter, and it's the glory of kings to search it out. And there are things out there that are made for our destruction, and if we don't take that concept into mind and watching a movie like this, we're setting ourselves up and our children for a fall. And just to be very careful and in what we are exposed to, and basically do that transference of spirit. So before you walk into the theater and bind the strong man and all those things.
I'll piggyback off of that by saying, something else that Megan Cressley questioned, and I think it's a great question. Females are born with every egg they're ever going to have. So then the question becomes harvesting, replacement, implantation. Are there some miscarriages that happen in these situations because it's not ordained by God? I know you talk about how they come back in and they take the child and they put it in some kind of, what do they call it when somebody else carries the child? It's not a placebo. It's anyway, when someone else is,
host.
Well, that's not the right word. Carrying the child, because that person is not. So they were very careful in this movie not to talk about any of the animal manipulations, the cow, the eyes, the things that are taken in these experiences, whether they happen or not. You talk to any rancher that's experienced this, they know that it's happened. They watch the ship come in. There's all kinds of stuff that happen, and they're probably dealt with too. But they're cow.
Surrogate.
Yes, that's it, a surrogate mother. So are these hybrids of part human, part alien? What does the surrogate mother look like? What's the surrogate situation? Are they in the belly of a cow? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying it's something that you have to consider. Why would they take so many of the cow's parts, so many of these animals' parts, and leave their carcass and it completely hollowed out? You have to consider, or you should consider, in respect to this movie, what exactly that they are not telling us if these things happened.
Well, speak about the last part of the movie, if you don't want to give that away. But
I was very disappointed in the ending of the movie. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I
was very disappointed.
What, you got something?
Well, for a disclosure movie, the ending kind of just dropped off.
Hey, look, they got an alien walked out in front of us, y'all.
It was like walked
right out in front of us.
I didn't like the ending. No.
Hey, watch this here. They asked, was the theater packed? No. You listen to me. We went at the 12.
Not at 12.
10 to 12:10 noon Thursday, Friday.
Right. Friday, yes.
And I think we brought 6 people ourselves.
Yes.
6 or 7. And I think it was like 3. I think we had about 10 people in the whole theater.
Yeah,
I will say that if you do bring your children, don't let them watch many of the previews of the future movies. It was I had to close my eyes a bunch
please
of times.
wait.
Whole lot of profanity and sexual
I told Jackson,
themes.
close your eyes.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Please close your eyes.
It was brutal.
It was. It was not appropriate for a kid. Just the previews.
Anyway.
Well, it's been great being here, Pastor. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Tell everybody.
Y'all have a
tell
supernatural.
Tell a neighbor, tell a friend.
That's right. Share this with somebody. They need to hear
Project
this.
Sears on again.
Project
Y'all have a supernatural week. Believe what the Bible says.
E.T. phone home.
My name is Rachel Blanton, and I am battle ready. My desire and my heart's cry is that you will be too.
I'm carrying my battle axe.
Don't be afraid of what you don't know.
Yeah, as Rachel said, I'm carrying my battle axe.
You are the battle axe, right? Isn't that what Pastor teaches us?
Yes,
we are the battle
hallelujah.
axe. We got our swords, everything in our backpack.
Thank you for refining.
The arsenal is being replenished.
The refiner's fire. Thank you for having me, Pastor. It was great.